Hi, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com, here to share another outside the box video where I'll demonstrate taking the parts and pieces of the latest paper pumpkin kit and a bit of other coordinating products from Stampin' Up! And create alternate projects rather than following the kit directions and making the projects as intended. This builds your creativity, allows you to see that you have options with your kits, and may even teach you other paper crafting tips, tricks, and ideas. For ease in demonstrating, I'll be substituting the clear block that came with my first kit for Stampin' Up's ergonomic blocks. I'll also be using the larger version of the ink pad that comes in the kit and some additional adhesives such as my Stampin' Seal. This January 2023 Key to My Heart kit makes 9 cards, 3 of 3 different designs. Instructions can be found in this pamphlet and through Stampin' Up's linked video if you want to create everything as is. But it's time to think outside the box and make something different. I'm making 3 projects in this video, and I've already got 3 others planned for another. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you visit my channel or blog again for even more that I'll have to share with this kit. These are the items that we're going to be using from the kit. We've got the adhesives, the dimensionals. We've got a couple stamps, the twine, and then all of these little pieces here. I just brought the envelope out to remind you that yes, you do have envelopes in your kit so you can mail your cards. So let's go ahead and start with a punch. We're going to fold our card. We're going to bring in one of our punches that has this nice little hole at the end here. We're going to flip it over. And we're going to position that hole to be kind of about an inch in from the edge of the card. Now, if you go too far in, you see you can be punching out a portion of the card, but we're only going to do the top little edge here. And as you can see, I've just got like half of that circle filled in. So when I punch it out, I've got a notch at the top of my card. And that's going to allow me to have a hole when I open it up so I can fit the twine through here. I'm going to use 24 inches of twine on this card. Let's see, we need 12 plus 12. I love the grid paper because it has measurements on it. You also have a tool, or I'm sorry, in the instruction sheet, there are measurements, like a little ruler along the side there, so you don't even have to own a ruler. Okay, we're going to thread this through the hole. We're going to bring it around and we're going to thread it again. Once you've got your 2 ends, you can tighten it up and bring the ends together so that they line up at the edges there. We can go ahead and do our knot right here. So we're going to tie, we're going to take the 2 ends and do an overhand right at this spot. Don't worry about where you're tying yet, okay? So we've got that set. We're going to put our finger over the top, tie it into a knot, and then I'm going to tuck one of these under here, and I'm going to tie it one more time, and that's going to connect those 2 together. Now what I want to do is open up my card, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher, straighten this out a bit here, and I can tie my bow. And it helps me to tie this bow, to tie this bow in this direction, I think. Hang on. Oh, maybe not. Sometimes you have to experiment with your twine and see which way works best. Oh, I know what it was. I just didn't tie the first knot on my original card. It's okay, we've got it. So you just want to tie that into a bow, and it helps with twine to tie it into a knot first and then a bow. So there we have our fun little connection. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to trim off the end. I find it easiest to bring in a paper trimmer to cut that nice and sharp and at a 90-degree angle. So I'm just lining this up in my trimmer so that I've got this section of the label piece hanging off of this side. So now we've just trimmed it. We've got 90-degree angles on those 2 corners. And now we're going to stamp on this piece. Oh, that was the wrong stamp. We're going to use the one that says "Love is the Key." and we'll grab our fresh freesia ink. Ink this up, and we're going to stamp it off to the right because we're going to place a little embellishment right in this spot. So we're just going to move this off to the right a bit. Now we're going to add dimensionals, and we're going to add those dimensionals so that this is coming down about 1/2 inch from the top of the gold section. So I'm just going to lay it right here, and then I'm going to bring it over a bit so I can see where I want to place my dimensional. I'm going to stick my dimensional right there, move this off to the side, and then I'm going to put another one right next to it. And that's where we'll be able to hold this piece here. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to add these 2 lock pieces. We're going to add this one down here, and we're going to add this one coming off to the side a bit. We want them to lock together. We want them to intertwine. So in order to do that, we have to cut one of them. And I think this one's the easiest to cut because you can just go straight across. The other one you would have to kind of go round it a little bit. But yeah, now that we've got that cut, we're going to take and shove that inside. And now we can see that they're interlocking locks. Bring them upside down here so we can add some adhesive to the back side. So it's just kind of a different way to add your lock images. Even if you're doing the kit as is, just do that quick little snip and you've got a different variation from what the kit tells you. Now we'll just stick this one down first. And then again, we have leeway to move this around, but I don't want to see that connection there and I don't want it to come loose. So I'm just going to kind of prop this up a bit. And you know what? I should probably lay this up here too so I can make sure everything looks balanced. That looks good. And now we're covering up the seam that we had there. Let's take the backings off of the dimensionals. And what I want to do is I want to line this edge with that edge where the gold printing on our card base separates from the non-gold printing area. And we'll just lay that down like that. Looks nice and straight. Now I can open up my card and I can bend it a little bit. You see what I'm doing here? I'm bending it just a tad so I can shove this twine, because the twine will still move. Yeah, because we didn't stick it down yet. There we go. The twine is able to move. I want to just show you that. See, it's movable. And we want to just put that so it's right underneath that label piece. And then we're going to bring in some embellishments. These are things that did not come in the kit, but it's always fun to add a little bit of glitz and glamour to our projects. These are the festive pearls. And this kit actually didn't come with any embellishments this time, which was kind of surprising. Oftentimes there is something little that you can stick on. And but I think because there's so much gold and glamour in it already, we really didn't need to have any extra embellishments, but I still have to have them myself. So we've got on this sheet some reddish colored ones, greenish, bluish, silver, and gold. Oh well. Okay, so now we're going to press this take your pick tool gummy end into one of the gold pearls and just press it on right there. In fact, you know what? Let's take the pokey end. I want to move this over just a bit. I'm going to have it right towards the end. There we go. And then we're going to take another one and we'll put that one maybe down in here and one more just kind of up in the top here. So now we've got just a little bit of fun you know, fun accenting there. On the inside of the card, all you need to do is add a few hearts. So we'll grab our ink pad again. Got an extra little fuzzy on that one. We're gonna have to flip this one over. Boy, Rachel's having twine issues today. Let's just retie it because it's in a knot. And there is our finished card. This one is also a card, so remember that you've got envelopes in your kit. These are the pieces that we'll be using. We're going to be using this basically as a piece of cardstock because we're going to stamp and cut from it. And then we've got 3 stamps that we'll use. We're going to use this fun card base and this label piece. And I think we're going to start right now with stamping. So I'm going to move these off to the side, or move that off to the side for a minute. And let's just flip that over. Let's go ahead and bring in our ink, our Fresh Freesia ink again. How fun to have this fun purple color. We're going to stamp this onto this scrap here. And we're going to stamp the To My Valentine off to the right on this label piece. And then the phrase that says, "You hold the key to my heart," and that's going to go on this piece, but it's going to be in this direction. And I'm just going to kind of lay this on my grid paper so I know it's centered and straight. And that way I don't have to worry too much about all the edges that I'm looking at. And I've stamped that. That has a little place to sign on the inside. And now let's bring back this punch. This is called the Label Me Fancy punch. Sorry, I forgot the name earlier. We're going to take this punch and we're going to create a fancy piece of tape with it, with our packaging tape. So you just need some packaging tape. Now you can just use regular, like any kind of clear one-sided tape for this, but I just kind of wanted it to have a nice edge for anybody who opens the card. When you want to make fancy tape pieces, you want to pull this piece out and punch it, but you have to put it on something in order to punch it. So you want it on something that is also going to remove from. I found this paper in my office drawer, and what it is basically just label sheets. And see, it just peels right up and off of that because it's got a waxy coating to it. So yeah, if you have label sheets, you know, for printing or anything like that, or if you want to, you can just take an old dimensional sheet that's used up and you can put the tape on there because you can peel it off of there as well. So once you have that on there, then we're just going to insert our punch into the end here and punch it out. So now what we'll do is we'll take our paper snips and we're going to trim this heart lock out. I know fussy cutting is not as in as it used to be. We have dies and we have punches, but this is a very simple one to cut around. And once we cut it, we're going to stamp on the back side. So you don't want to cut too close because you want to be able to have that ability to fit your image on the flip side as well. Gotta love photopolymer stamps. You can see right through them. It's awesome. All right, so what are we going to do with this fancy tape? We are going to add it to this piece so that it can open and shut and open and shut. But in order to do so, there's going to be a little bit of pull on the tape, and so what we need to do is trim off just a small amount of edge on this piece here. And we're actually going to tie our ribbon around that section of the card first too before we attach this. See, it's just a thin sliver, like maybe a 32nd of an inch. So let's grab our ribbon. This is our Fresh Freesia ribbon, and I believe I had about 14 inches of it. And then you're going to bring it through this hole of the card, and we're going to tie it into a bow. That looks good. All right, so now let's take this piece, and we've got the words going in the right direction because we're going to have this little flap that opens up. So we're setting that in that spot. In fact, let's just flip it over to attach the adhesive. So fit it into place, and now you can see that small little gap that's in there. That gap is important. Grab our tape. It's all fancy. And we can add that right here. Oops, let's just cinch that ribbon down a bit. Hang on. I want that ribbon to be centered. And you can see that small little gap in there. It's okay though. And now that allows us to open and close that spot. All right, next we're going to add this piece here, and we're going to trim off the end. So let's grab our paper trimmer to do that 90-degree angle. Just going to trim off that little end there, about 1/4 of an inch. So we went off to the right because we want to put another embellishment there. And this is just going to get centered right through here, like that. In fact, you know what? Let's do this first. I didn't do it on my finished sample, but it's always nice when you have an end like that on a banner piece to kind of use your bone folder to curl it up. This piece, we're going to put adhesive on right up towards the top here, flip it over, and we'll tuck it right under that spot. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our embellishment. Let's trim this up a bit here too. We're going to bring in those festive pearls again. And let's just stick with the gold because we're going to have gold on the inside. All right, now let's flip it over. We'll grab our dimensionals from the kit again. And one right there. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a shadow for this inner portion of the card. Let's fold the card in half now. And we're going to add our, where did it go? I forgot to grab one of the keys. We're going to add one of these keys to the inside. We're going to do that with a bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. And this is the glue that comes with the green cap. I've just transferred it to a precision tip bottle so it's easier for me to apply to places. So let's open this up and set that right in there like that. And then the last step is to adhere everything shut. So we're going to run this adhesive real close to the edge on the front flap all the way around. Then we'll peel off the backings. So this is a card that will not open up like normal. It's just going to open up at the flap. Okay, we're going to press it closed, and we're going to first work on those dimensionals, get those to connect, and then we're going to bring our hands to the outside edges and we're going to seal it, trying to hold everything down evenly and allowing it to dry nice and flat. Keep it flat on the surface of your table. Try not to do this when you're holding it up because otherwise you might have, it might kind of sway in one direction or bend and it won't lie flat when you put it into an envelope. Keep on holding. This multi-purpose liquid glue does bond pretty quickly, but you want to guarantee it. You don't want to have it to gap open on the sides. And here you can see the type of glue this is. Again, green capped glue is what they nickname it. The Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. And here's our finished card. So you just lift right there. And if you want to, you can, write a little message here, lift here, or something like that. But it's going to be kind of obvious when they can't open anywhere else. To my Valentine, you hold the key to my heart. And here you can see that fancy little tape on there. If you have those clear circle tape pieces, that would work too. I just didn't have anything on hand, so I made my own. All right, we're going to do one more project, and this one's going to involve the add-on, the Heart Boxes add-on that subscribers were able to order prior to the kit being released, and right now, as I'm recording, it's still in the online store. You have to have an active subscription to get any add-ons for your paper pumpkin kits. These add-ons do not add onto the actual kit. It doesn't get shipped with your kit. You need to place it in a separate order, by the way. And here we go. This is what you get with it. You get 10 boxes, and they have tops and bottoms. They all look the same, when you first get them. But if you stack them like this, you can see that there's a difference in sizes, in the sizes. So you've got your top pieces and you've got your bottom pieces, which are going to be slightly smaller on this section of the box. So you need one of each. Again, top, bottom, bigger, smaller. And we're just going to fold in all the flaps here. These are so easy to put together. You're just going to fold on all of those score lines. Once you've got them folded, this is going to be brought in. You're going to peel off the backing on the sticky tape ends and just flap them right into place. Again, this is the bottom box piece, and you don't even have to keep track because they're only going to fit together in one way. And then you can do the same thing with this one. They are labeled though, so if you need to, you can read right here. It says top on this one. Okay, I've already created one. You get 12 label pieces and you get 10 keys. More keys. I love it because I don't feel like the paper pumpkin kit came with enough keys. These have a little heart shape instead of a circle at the end, and on the inside you'll notice that you've got a heart-shaped sticker. So you can always have more extra hearts in your kit. So we're going to go ahead and stamp on this. We're going to stamp right in the middle with the one that says "You hold the key to my heart." And then we're going to bring a product, or I'm sorry, a tool that's called the Embossing Buddy. And you're just going to pounce up and down all over the back side of this. What we're doing is we're removing the stickiness. We don't want this piece to be sticky because we are going to add dimensionals to the back side. So now it's not a sticker anymore. And before I close it and decorate it, I thought I would bring in some things that would fit into the box, just some examples. The Dove chocolates, you could fit a couple of those. I tried stacking them, two of those, but it's a little bit high for two. I'm sorry, for four. So, but two across works. And then, of course, like the nugget-shaped candies, you could fit a couple of those in there. You can even fit money because it's paper. So, I know, right? A $50 bill. You can even fit money if you're willing to fold it in a certain direction. So lucky whoever gets this. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of these stickers now. Actually, let's just take this one. And I'm gonna pounce the end, not the whole thing, just the end, to remove the stickiness. And then I'm gonna take one of the locks that's in our kit and hang it right like that, and then stick this one across. So let's put some adhesive on the back side. Just grab our seal. Put some right across the top there. Actually, we can bring it down just a little bit further. We're going to have that hanging off the edge of our heart, and this one coming off like that. That's why we wanted it to not have any stickiness right there. And then we'll grab a couple dimensionals. And you wouldn't have to, but if you want to, you can grab some of those gold hearts or the gold dots again. Little gold pearls, just, I don't know, brings joy. I love gold pearls. This is another version that I made. So did the same thing with these pieces, and so the Embossing Buddy just hit the end of the key here, stuck those down, and then I left this as is. I didn't remove the stickiness from the back side because I wanted it to just stick directly onto the box. I've also stamped it with some coordinating ink. I just felt like there needed to be a touch more of this Calypso Coral in there. So I brought in the Calypso Coral ink pad. What did I do to do that? So I stamped off to the left on my label piece. I left justified it over here, which left me some space over here. And then I just inked up with this stamp that has all the hearts on it. I just inked up one of the hearts. And you can do that by just going right into the corner of the stamp. And that gives you that one heart that you can stamp down. After you stick the label on here, You take this off, flip it over, and you bring your paper snips and just trim up the edge all the way around. And that's how you get that look. So now I have a couple Valentine boxes for Valentine's Day. I'm excited. It's one of my favorite holidays. By the way, these kits are just $23.50 plus tax per month in the US. Shipping is included. You control which months you get them mailed to you, and there's no commitment or obligation. Did you have fun? Lots of pink. My next set of projects has lots of purple. For more information on paper pumpkin kits and subscribing through me so that I can spoil you with exclusive ideas, gifts, and prizes, click on the links below. My blog post linked to this video is also in the video description and will lead you to photos of what I've shared today, as well as links to the extra supplies that I've used. If you missed out on getting this kit, I'm so sorry about that, but hopefully you'll be able to apply what you saw here to the products that you already have on hand. Be sure you have an active Paper Pumpkin account by February 10th so you don't miss out on the next one titled Sunshine and Smiles. We know from the hints that it will contain pre-cut critters, raindrop embellishments, a mini Mango Melody ink pad, supplies to make 9 cards with peek-through windows, and that it will coordinate with the Rain or Shine suite. There are even coordinating dies subscribers can purchase separately. These kits are always a fun surprise, so I hope that you'll join and give them a try. I'm addicted and have been creating and sharing alternates since March of 2013 when Paper Pumpkin first began. You'll find links to these alternates on my website at stampyourartout.com. You can also find many great ideas on Pinterest, through Google searches, and by joining my Paper Pumpkin fan club on Facebook. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.